Come on, internet. All right. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Today, the Center for Career Development has brought on Pugh CPAs, and we have two representatives speaking with us today, Keith O'Connor and Annie Murray. Welcome, both of you. We're so glad to have you here. If you both could just introduce yourself just a little bit.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm Keith O'Connor, and I'm one of our audit partners here at Pugh CPAs. I've been with the firm going on 10 years now. Also a UT Vol, graduated back in, I guess, 2010. I had a double major in marketing and accounting, and accounting's the route that I wanted to go. So that's what kind of led me to Pugh. Primarily work in all kinds of different industries. So primarily banking, financial institutions. I've got governments, not-for-profits, manufacturing, commercial, all mostly private industries. So that's one of the good things that, we'll talk about at some point today. But, the fact that we're pretty diverse, and, I can honestly say that I work on a little bit of everything here at Pugh. So that's one of the cool things about our firm, I think. So I'll kind of take it to Annie there.
Yeah, so my name's Annie McMurray. I went to UT undergrad and for the MAC. And I actually interned at Pugh for about 8 months, and I have a little less experience than Keith. I've only been full-time for about a month, but I have a little bit of experience, and I'm on the audit side too. I'm a staff. I'm kind of like Keith. I work on a bunch of his jobs, so I'm kind of all over the place. I work on not-for-profits, governments, banks, financial institutions, all of that stuff.
Wonderful. So, Keith, you kind of hinted at it a little bit, but could you tell us a little bit more about Pugh, what the firm does and what the primary locations are?
Yeah, absolutely. So Pugh is a Knoxville-based firm. We've been here going on, a little over 50 years. So pretty well established here, got a pretty good footprint in the area. We have one main office. I think, years before I ever started, I think we were kind of in different locations, and it was a little bit more regional, but then they kind of, decided to centralize everything here in Knoxville. So we're located off Cedar Bluff, not too far away from campus. We primarily do audit, assurance, tax, consulting. We do business valuations, litigation, advisory practices. So we pretty much touch all bases, I would say. And then even within some of those, I kind of touched on the industries. So you've got, manufacturing, not-for-profit, governments, banking, even from a tax side, we're doing estates, trusts, gifts, different consulting, small business services. So pretty much, if you can think of it, we probably have our hand in it. So, and another thing that's kind of cool about us is, we kind of years and years ago, we're probably in more of the public market, but now we do probably almost 100% private groups now. So we do have some, maybe 2 SEC file registrants, but other than that, we're pretty much a private practice focus.
Wonderful. Well, it's great to hear how diverse you are in all the different areas that you specialize in. What kind of job and internship opportunities do you currently have open or are recruiting for? How would students go about applying for these?
Sure. Well, we just kind of got out of the recruiting season. So hopefully, anybody that's tuning in, hopefully you were able to come into our Zoom chat. I know this year was kind of different just with how Meet the Firms was going. So, we are always on the look for good candidates. Even through a time of COVID, I would say that, nothing's really slowing us down. I know that, talking to other industry leaders and other firms in the area, I know a lot of people have put some, hiring freezes on certain areas. But, really we took on 10 interns this past summer, and, we're always looking for the best and brightest. And, this upcoming year, we're willing to look at any, maybe 2 or 3 full-time in the spring. And then we're always looking for different audit and tax interns, maybe, roughly 5, 6 in the summer, I would say. And, generally you can apply through HireVol or Handshake or whatever the platform is now, but we have a link on our website just at PughCPAs.com. There's a recruiting, I think a student's link that you can go to and upload your resume. We have, staff that are here that are taking those in and reviewing those. So, even if you don't just go through the normal process through recruiting season, you can still submit your resume on our website at any point in time during the year. We're always, like I said, looking for the best and brightest.
So potentially, what would spring recruitment look like? When would you anticipating picking back up again?
Spring would, as far as picking back up, you talking about the just recruiting season or just work? Okay. So in recruiting, I think, we start pretty heads on right in the beginning of the year. Obviously the true tax season, busy season is kind of a busy time for us. So, everything's kind of hectic, which during an internship opportunity, I think that's really good. But we generally will start actively recruiting again, and then we also do a summer leadership program. We kind of had to put that on hold this past summer for COVID, but we have a fun event that we'll come on campus, and I think UT does a recruiting event specifically for leadership conferences, so we're pretty heavily involved in that. And just to kind of speak to that leadership conference, I guess it would have been last year. We probably took 20, 30 students up to the Margaritaville Resort in Gatlinburg for a couple days. Annie was there. We had a good time. We bring in certain clients to speak. We have a lot of, community leaders that will come in and speak. And then we also do some, team building activities. That way you kind of get to see, the fun and business side of Pugh, because I think, I know that we can talk for days about how fun the firm is, but I just think that we offer a very good professional and nice work-life balance side of things to the job environment. So if that's something you're looking for, I think as far as finding a firm fit, I think that's generally what we're looking for is fit with a student. So fit with our firm, and we hope that they'll fit with us for their own personal benefit too.
I can say that was one of the summer leadership conferences I definitely wanted to attend as soon as I seen it was posted.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was incredibly jealous. I remember Micaiah coming in and saying, "Did you see where Pew's going?"
Oh yeah, yeah.
So
yeah.
Super fun, super cool. And I know students have really enjoyed those summer leadership conference experiences. And you're right. I think it does provide that kind of fun aspect to the company and the firms and getting to understand and learn more about who you are a little bit outside of the work environment too. I think it's just nice to say y'all are people too.
Yeah, we're actually real people. We're not just number crunchers.
Oh, good. And you touched on this a little bit about fit, but what kinds of experiences make candidates a good fit for Pew? Is there anything on a resume that might make them, a candidate stand out, or anything that they should consider adding to their experiences?
We're willing, like I said, we're willing to give everybody a good shot. GPA, I think just in general with accounting, it's always known that, good GPAs are always there because it kind of teaches us a little bit about you as far as your work ethic. Now, we also know that, sometimes some of our best people didn't always have the best GPAs. I, for one, can say that my GPA wasn't that great, but my work ethic kind of, I feel like outshined my, I guess, GPA at some point. So, and I also had a lot of work experience. I did 3 internships coming through UT, in different types of practice. And, I had a lot going on with my time. So, generally we look at GPA to begin with, but we're also looking at job experiences, internship opportunities, definitely trying to preach, get your foot in the door as any way you can, or even put, these leadership conferences on your resume just to show that you're actively out there, interested and all that good stuff. But yeah, that's the kind of stuff that typically will stand out to us. Obviously, like, if we're in the, meet the firms atmosphere or recruitment, like obviously asking good questions, if you meet recruiters along the way, I would highly suggest, getting their contact information, following up with them at different points time during the year, let them know that, you're definitely interested in having an opportunity somewhere. That way it kind of keeps our mind in remembering you. And, that way it's like, oh yeah, that person stood out to me, even though like I may not remember their resume 100% after I see it, but it's just little things like that. But I don't know, Annie, do you have anything that, you could give for some students on that?
Me, I feel like just any kind of, even if it's just retail experience, like anything you can get to kind of get like the work environment and just kind of like showing that you are dedicated to something and that you showed up. Like if you can't get an internship, like I stayed at like a small firm and just did like AP clerk work, and like anything like where you can get some sort of accounting experience, I think would be awesome. Like any Excel experience would be great, like where you could show that, like any of that.
Mhm.
Cool. So tell us a little bit about your company culture. What kind of special things does Pew offer or do or have, or, why do you like being at Pew?
Okay.
I'll do this one. So I think, everybody says it, but I really feel like we have the family feel, especially with like a local firm and an audit. We work in teams pretty much every day. You're with somebody like 8 hours a day, all day. So you get to know them and like stuff about their family. And that kind of translates over, like I can ask anybody, like if it's a partner or a staff, like I'm comfortable going to ask them questions. Like I'm not intimidated at all. And so I think just making everybody comfortable. And also we have this policy where we get to wear jeans to the office. So it's called dress for your day. And it's like the best thing ever, especially coming from like going to campus and wearing whatever you wanted. I was like, oh no, I'm gonna have to wear business clothes every single day. But like when you're in the office, you get to wear jeans and it's just such a treat. And also we do a bunch of different like events. So I think we do tailgates, we have Christmas parties. We had a baseball game. I can't, Keith, do
Yeah.
you, what else? There's a few things, which
Well,
is always fun.
it's kind of hard to think like before what life was like
I
before
know, see,
COVID.
that's
But
what, there's like, we can't do anything because of COVID.
yeah, no, we have tailgates and we do like Christmas parties. I think last year we did a Christmas party at Maple Hall where we basically rented out the place and had a big, fun bowling, food and all that good stuff. Just trying to think. We've like
I
I said,
know.
baseball game. I mean, it's kind of endless. And we've also got some intramural type stuff. We've got some guys put together a basketball team. We had a softball team at one point. So there's a lot of cool, and we also do fantasy football too, if you're interested in that. I mean, I feel like that we're always trying to, do something together and involve everybody in different things.
I think they take really good care of us, especially like the staff level. Like I swear, every job I'm on, probably like once a week, somebody's taking us out to lunch, like a partner's getting us coffee or stuff like that. And it's just like the small things that really add up, and like you can tell that they really care.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. Let's see. So, what advice do you have for students who are job and internship searching kind of during this COVID pandemic? I know that's been on a lot of students' minds, and they've been super worried and stressed about what recruitment looks like and not being able to network how they normally have been. So, if you could just kind of talk through that a little bit.
Yeah, so for that one, when I was kind of thinking about this one, I was really just like, you have to be patient, especially with everything online. It's going to be kind of difficult. But also kind of like Key said, I would definitely keep in contact with the recruiters. And like, if you get that email, I would just be consistent and like keep following up. Because if you take a few days every time to reply, like that kind of like reflects on you and like how you're going to be as a worker if you can't like consistently keep in contact and kind of do that. I'd also say to probably practice in Excel, especially for accounting. Like if you can get some of those qualifications from like Linda or stuff like that and do some more practice for there. And I'd also say be extra attentive in Zoom meetings. Like there's kind of that like barrier where you can't really tell with body language. So I would definitely try and make eye contact with the camera. I know it sounds weird, but it really helps me. And just really pay attention to your body language because I think that helps a lot.
Yeah, I'd like to also kind of echo the appropriateness on Zoom. I feel like that's kind of the world we're living in right now, and I feel like it should be treated just the same way as an in-person meeting. One of the I feel like going through the Zoom meet the firms that we did this past go around. There were some students that I feel like they didn't have the technology that was set up correctly. That I think I had a conversation with somebody on their phone, and all I could see was like their eyeballs on the screen. So I didn't even I couldn't even see their face, and it wasn't their fault. I mean, I just think it was just hard to get everything kind of like squared away technology wise. But I feel like definitely maybe take a step back and like try to figure out make sure your technology is all squared away. All your I's are dotted, T's crossed right before you get into that call, because you never know. Because I mean, this is our one shot with you right now, because right now it's hard to get in someone's office. So making sure that you have Zoom just nailed down 100% right before you call, or even like, if you're in the middle of something, you lose it, make sure you're following up and, trying to keep in contact to try not to lose it right there. Cause it is tough right now. I feel like with the world we're in. So.
Yeah, and I would say, I know when I was a student, you could do like practice interviews. And so if you could do like a practice Zoom interview, I totally would, just to make sure everything's working. Like that would make me feel like 100 times better.
Yeah.
Well, students definitely can do practice interviews at the Center for Career Development.
Out there.
Small plug for us,
There
but
you go.
no, I definitely agree. And I know, just speaking from the Meet the Firms experience, I mean, recruitment this season, I think, was new for everybody. And the biggest thing is, it was not perfect for anybody either by any means. And, I definitely understand and think you gave great advice. It's been difficult living these tech worlds and figuring it all out, but Zoom has just become that new normal. So I think perfecting your skills on it's kind of everything at this point.
Yeah.
So why do you guys like hiring UT Vols?
Well, of course, because me and Annie went there. Only the best go there, right? No, I mean, UT's just always been such a, great foundation for our firm. Mr. Pugh, our founder, was, he's a big supporter of UT. I think there's the Will Pugh classroom that's named after him. I just think that, what we've given to Pugh and what we've given to UT and what UT has given to us, I think is just, very intense, that can't really put a value on it. And I think we've just had such good success with our UT candidates. And I mean, I think we've had good success with other times, but I think generally just based on the sophistication of the students coming out of UT, I think we've just generally seen better results, honestly. And I mean, I can be biased, but I think the results don't lie. And I just think like that's been more of our success is with UT students. And the stuff that you all do for recruiting is far beyond better than some of the other schools that we taught. Some of the schools only do maybe one recruiting thing for the students all year, and that's just their one shot, where UT is just heavily involved with the firms, and there's a pipeline there. And I just think that you guys set up a really good platform for the students to stay engaged with us throughout the year, and it just makes it look better, honestly. So.
Well, that's good to hear. Do you guys have any upcoming events that you're potentially going to be at UT, or any new and happening things at Pew that you want our students to know about?
Well, we just went through a really big office renovation here. Our office was probably about 40 years behind the time. I think, it definitely needed a facelift. So we, for the last year, just completely gutted it and made it a lot more open concept and modernized. So now everybody has a sit to stand desk and multiple screens that they work with. And we're definitely accommodating more of a modern lifestyle, and definitely people are more into standing and working, or not, as opposed to sitting. I just think that it creates a little bit more exercise, and I'm all about that. And we definitely have improved our kitchen area and our coffee area. We've got a lounge area, TVs, nice big boardrooms. So I definitely think it's very appealing. It's kind of cool to come to work, honestly. Like I wish if I didn't have my little background on, I'd show you the office, but it's pretty cool. And as far as events coming up, we're kind of playing it by ear, right now with COVID. I mean, I think Haley Bigney's our office recruiter. She does a lot of our on-campus recruiting, so she could be a better candidate to tell you, like, as far as upcoming stuff. But I know that we'll be heavily involved back in the spring, or as we move into the spring, with job fair recruiting and leadership conference recruiting and all that good stuff.
Well, good deal. So we're getting close to time, but you guys, if there's anything additional you would like to tell our students, any upcoming advice or anything that just might be useful or helpful, or anything you want to share?
I'm just trying to think. I mean, I know that some of these students, depending on where you're at in your career, I mean, I know that it's hard to decide whether you want to go into the big market, let's say the big four, or if you want to go into more of a, the smaller regional firms like us. And, if I've got an opportunity to make a shameless plug, I'll definitely take advantage of it. But, I think that, as far as a work-life balance goes, I think Annie kind of hit it on the head earlier about, the fact that what I think separates our firm across from anybody else. And, I've had internships with all the other ones. And I think that, having a steady work-life balance helps you kind of set more into a career than just a short-term job solution. When I got to Pew, I never had this intention of wanting to leave in 5 years. And, I kind of wanted to make it a career. So Pew's offered, a very nice work-life balance for me that's helped, help me sustain this over the last 10 years and not burn me out and, keep me, involved and eager to come to work every day. So that's kind of the thing that I like about Pew. And, we try to create flexible work environments. So, I think what we can offer, as a four-day week where you're off on Friday, as opposed to, working 6 days a week, mandatory, I think we can have some wins by creating a more versatile work style, in my opinion. And that kind of helps, I think all women and men that have kids and families and, that have to take appointments and that, might have to miss things to go pick up a kid. I think, and also it just, I feel like it just creates a better morale for everybody that works here. But Andy I don't know if Andy's got anything to add to that. I always like to throw like a shameless plug out there for the firm.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the head. Everything you said was good.
All righty. Well, I don't see any additional questions or anything in the chat, but I really appreciate both of y'all joining today and getting some insight on Pew and all the great things that y'all have to offer. I know you guys have always been a wonderful partner with UT, and we love working with y'all so much. And I can't wait to have you on campus even more, hopefully, come next semester. And hopefully things will return back to somewhat of a sense of normalcy. I know it probably won't be perfect, but I'm definitely excited to have y'all back and engaged. But that's all for our Facebook live stream. So thank you guys.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having us.